Hello, this is the Breville Barista Express BES870. As you saw in the photos, very close to new, well taken care of, and I've just finished doing the servicing. I'm gonna make a double shot latte to show you how to use the machine. So make sure it's got enough water and beans. We turn it on. It'll take about a minute to warm up. I like to run a blank shot, so a shot without any coffee. Just pressing the double shot button. To warm things up, this will warm up the cup, the handle, the machine as well. And if there's any dirt, it'll also clean it. You can do that once or twice, depending on how much time you have. So I'm gonna keep that on the side. I'll grab a tissue and then I'm gonna dry the portafilter. You need this to be dried before you start grinding. And then just put it in. Select your amount. So usually I keep it at around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. The grind size here is how fine or how coarse you want the coffee to be. I put it at number 2. You can change that, and you can also change it again on the inside. So it's at number 2 now. This one is at 2 o'clock, so that's the grind amount. You can do that double shot or a single shot. For a double shot, I like to keep it at single and do it twice. That way I can tamp it with the temper halfway. It'll make the thing less messy. So I also recommend, if you want to get more consistent with your coffee, just grab a scale, one that's accurate to 0.1 grams. Just to measure the coffee grind and amount. This one has a timer as well, so you can get one with the timer as well. That's my first dose, so I'm just going to press it down. That's 10 grams. I'm aiming for about 18 grams for a double shot. So I'm going to maybe keep it at 1 o'clock. In the future, 1 o'clock should be about 9 grams per shot. So 1 o'clock is what I recommend. I'm just going to do that again. Cool. Keep it at 1 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, that's about 19 grams. It's a bit much. So actually, maybe at 12 o'clock. This will change if you change your beans or if you change the grind amount, which I just did. I just cleaned out the grinder, so maybe that's why. But yeah, so this should give you about 18 grams for a double shot at around 12 o'clock. So keep it there. So just removing the excess. Yeah, that's perfect. So after I've got the correct amount, I want to make this sort of more or less flat with my palm, with my fingers, and then I'll grab the tamper and I'll firmly tamp it down. I want to make sure that it's even and that there's no holes or gaps, and at the end just twist it like that and remove. Clean the edges. This is what it should look like. A good rule of thumb, if you don't have a scale, is that once you've tamped your coffee down, the tamper should go as deep as the silver part on the tamper, so just like that. That's about the right dose for this machine. Using the single or double shot, doesn't matter. It's the depth that matters. That's the depth that you want to get to. And if we measure that, that's about 18 grams, give or take. we go. Maybe flush it one more. You can also use the hot water spout if you want hot water for like Americanos or tea or something. Or warming up your cups. You can fill them up with hot water. Cool. I'm gonna put this here. Just at around 6 o'clock, maybe more if you could. Don't force the handle. You will notice that if you fill up the handle way too much, it'll be harder to put into the machine, which makes sense. If you want to add some sugar or sweetener at this stage, you could do it now. Cool. So again, using the scale, I'm going to calibrate it. I'm going to measure how much coffee comes out. You want to do this if you want to be consistent. I mean, you don't really have to, but it would help. I'm going to show you how to program the buttons in case you want to change the volume of the buttons. So I'm going to change this to a double shot, which is about 40 grams of coffee. So the way you do that is you program and then you press the button. The machine will start giving you coffee. Stop it when you're happy with the volume and it will save that volume. Also keep an eye on the gauge. You want the gauge to be at around 12 o'clock. So in the grey zone is okay, but in the upper range of the grey zone is good. So around 12 o'clock, that's what I noticed. There we go, that's around 1 o'clock, that's perfect. I don't know if you can see the coffee's coming out nice and slow. I wish you could see it. It's nice and slow. It's almost like warm honey. You want that, and you can only get that if you have very freshly roasted coffee. There you go. Should be about 40 grams. Yeah, that's perfect actually, that's 38. So the mathematics are not as important. I mean, as a double shot is about 18 grams of coffee. If you multiply that by 2, you'll get 36 grams of espresso is perfect. People say a 2-to-1 ratio is sort of a good range for most coffees. You can make that run longer if you want, like a long black, or shorter if you want something like a ristretto. Which is a very sour, very small amount of coffee. But yeah, 2-to-1 is a good rule of thumb. So, for example, 18 grams in, 36 grams out. That's what we got here. The coffee looks amazing. It has a lot of crema. And the only way you can achieve that pressure and that flow is if you have fresh beans, if you have a fine enough grind, if you temper it correctly, and if you have the correct dose. That's why I recommend the scale. That's why I recommend getting fresh beans. I did try supermarket beans and they were horrible, so I would never do that again. Horrible in the sense that coffee comes out very quickly and sour and doesn't have a lot of crema. Okay, I'm gonna do the milk steaming now. I'm gonna fill the jug almost like a third of the way, so just below the spout here. That's a good rule of thumb as well. So steam, you turn on the steamer forwards. It'll take a few seconds to warm up. The technique I'm going to be using to steam the milk is I'm going to put the wand at an angle and try to create a vortex And so for 20 seconds maybe, I'm gonna keep the tip close to the surface, and after the 20 seconds, I'm gonna dunk it deeper into the jug. Okay, now that the steam is full pressure, I'm gonna dunk it sort of close to the surface. I want to hear that hissing sound. That means I'm injecting air. And I'm going to hold this position for about 20 seconds. And then after that 20 seconds, you can do it for more than that or less than that. If you do that, if you sort of prolong that phase, you'll get more bubblier, foamier milk. And once the 20 seconds are done, I'm gonna sort of lift the jug, and now it's not injecting air, it's simply just warming it up and twisting it around in a vortex. Alright, once I can't touch it for more than half a second or so, I'm gonna turn it off. That's about 60 degrees. Very important, once you're done, purge it out. This will clean the wand on the inside. And then grab a wet towel right away. So now the machine is cooling down, it's going to go back to coffee mode. There we go, once the buttons are lit up, you can make another espresso shot. But anyway, you need to wipe this straight away. If you don't wipe the steam on straight away, the milk will stick in there and it will look ugly. It'll be very hard to remove. Cool. Both sides. There we go. A lot of people neglect the underside as well. And by a lot of people, I mean my brother. Yeah, so just keep it clean. It'll keep you happy if you keep it happy. Cool. So that's an espresso, a double shot espresso with milk. You can do cappuccinos, flat whites, lattes. Today I made a latte, so I'm just gonna mix the espresso with my spoon. Tap the milk down to break any bubbles if there are, and then swirl it around a couple times. There we go. I'm not a good latte artist, but this machine definitely allows you to do latte art if you want to. Let's show you the shot that I made. Here it is. And it always tastes amazing. Hope you enjoy the machine, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.